It is pointless to resist.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Sarlacc Digest, episode 241. Coming at you with just the two of us. Oh, what's up? Look at that. Marco's not here today. Ernie's off doing his thing, working. I think he even missed his show. Joey's been sick for like 6 months. I said, we're sending out care packages and shit. So, hope you all get well. Hope we see you guys next week. I missed a few weeks because I'm a clown. But, I'm back too, and everybody else bounced except Scott. Look at that. So with me today, Scott. What's up, Scott?
What's up, nerds? How's it going, man?
Hey. So we're going to get into some news today. It's just the two of us, so I don't know how long this thing is going to go. Scott and I could go for 30 minutes and get it all covered. We can go 3 hours. We'd have no clue, so buckle up, folks. But before we get things started, and we will jump right into it, we got some house cleaning to do and talk about some important folks in our day. So, Scott, if you can shout out the Shadow Council.
You got it, man. Hey, Shadow Council. What's up, everybody? How you doing? I was just watching the episode of The Mandalorian today where the Shadow Council makes its debut, and I'm looking there and I'm pointing out, there's Don the Dad Dorn. There's AJ from the Forbidden Panel. You know, I could pick out each one of you as you're doing your meeting there. So, hey, AJ from the Forbidden Panel, Brandon and Anya Epler, Brian C., our newest, latest and greatest Shadow Council member. We've also got Cliff, Crystal E., Dennis McGrath, Don the Dad Dorn, Eric Grubb, Flavy Davy, formerly of the Nerds with Attitude, Gavin Connor, currently from the Holy Hour All Cure podcast, Ryan and the Star Joes podcast, Justin the Vanilla Thunder, Mervine Bolanos, Matt Logic, Nicholas Schaefer, and Papa Schmitty. I hope Papa Schmitty got his care package. It came in where I sent it out the other day. So hopefully he got his book for joining us in last week's episode. But if you, yes, you faithful listener, if you are if you are interested at all in joining the Shadow Council, just scan that QR code right there or log on to patreon.com/Sarlacc Digest Podcast and, donate. All of the money goes back into the production of this show. So thank you, everybody. You're awesome. And you know what? We've also got some people we're digesting. We're digesting Darth Moocher, Gordon Skalski. Hey, Bootleg Joe is in there. What's up, Bootleg? I hope you're feeling better, man. It sucks to be dying every day it's just, man, you should have heard him coughing all the time. I didn't hear him. He just told me he was coughing. But we've also got Don the Dad Dorn in there. We've got Rolando Flores. What's up, Rolando? How's it going, man? Got Gavin Connor. We've got Mudhorn in there. We've got, So, hey, if you're in there, give us a shout and we will Matt Logic joined us too. That's right.
Right on.
So
I clown Joey for being sick, but I've been sick since September, so I don't know what the hell, man. I'll get sick for a week, get better for 4 days, then get my ass kicked and be like not wanting to move for a couple of days. I can't. I'm gonna be sniffing and snorting this whole episode.
Yeah, man. I had a cold followed by a COVID, followed by another cold, followed by a flu. So there was 4 hits within the matter of 3 months. It just sucks. It's
sick of being sick, man. So
no doubt.
The rest of this year, I'm gonna clear this damn sinus up, and we're rocking and rolling. So so what are we gonna jump into? You know what? Before we get into the cool movie news, let's start out with the crappy news we were gonna talk about before. Because I wasn't gonna do it, but I think since it's me and you, we're a good opposite sides of the spectrum a little bit, probably. And we might not be, right? We might be dead on. We really haven't talked about this much in the chat.
Yeah.
But so Charmin Obey-Chinoy, the director of the new Rey movie, right? Mm-hmm. Said some stuff, and I kind of feel like social media takes things out of context a little bit, right? Pull out old videos and things. We get that, but still, at some point, we've got to say, like, directors, let's just leave it at what a movie is, and you're excited to do it, not this other stuff. But what she said was, it was time that a woman took the reins on this franchise. In a movie perspective is what we see, right? Not actress wise, not lead wise, as a filmmaker. Right. Okay.
But she didn't specify that. She just said So, and then I was like, well, wait a minute, hang on. We've had Bryce Dallas Howard take the reins. We've had Deborah Chow took the reins for all of Kenobi. I mean, I think she wrote and directed all of Kenobi. So,
and how many authors in our world, right? How many? We got Claudia Gray on. It was a weird thing to say, because, and I don't know it's about time, because the other, like, the first 6 were George, man. I don't care who directed them. I don't care if it was Kirshner or Marquand, anybody, right? Or if it was George. Those were all 6 were George. Nobody talks about anybody else, right? So it's kind of like, at this point, I just say that because it's not her vision. She's not the writer on it.
Right. It's, I've said it before that a director gets the script, and the script is usually just maybe a setting, the words on the screen, and it's the director's job is to take those words and set the tone of the film, while the other people, you've got your scenic designers, you've got those people that build the world around it to make it look pretty, right?
Yeah.
But the director definitely sets the tone, and I don't know. It's just getting to the point where everything has to be a statement. And I am full on, right on. I'm glad she's there. I can't wait to see what she brings to the table, but you don't need to come at it. And I don't want to get my ass canceled here. It's stop coming at us with a chip on your shoulder, just come out here and show us what you got. I can't wait to see it. She directed a couple of episodes of Miss Marvel, which I did not see. I saw a couple episodes of Miss Marvel and determined that it just wasn't quite for me.
It wasn't bad, right? But it wasn't made. We weren't the demo for
right. That. No. Right. I felt like if I was about, 20, 30 years younger, it would have been right up my alley. But I'm just like, And it's funny because a lot of people were saying, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, those that didn't watch Miss Marvel, they don't like the cast. They don't like the ethnicities. And I'm like, no, the family was great. It was the teenagers. They just mumbled every word. I had to have the subtitles on so I could understand what the teenagers were saying.
Yeah.
The family was fantastic, you know?
I just think I'm getting old. That's why I have subtitles on everything.
Yeah, I know, right?
I can't hear shit.
we're watching right now some old British sci-fi stuff, and I'm like,
oh yeah, for sure.
I can usually watch British stuff and get it, but they're talking so fast. I'm like, up subtitles. Yeah, no. But you know, not everything has to be agenda driven, and
so we're on the same page, because that's where I'm at. I like that she's gonna have the movie. I'm cool with Ray having a lead again. Nothing like that's an issue. It's like when you say when it becomes a message, when it becomes wherever this other part of her, wherever she came from, this piece about she likes to make men feel uncomfortable. Like, you can't. What was that? Go ahead, explain it. I didn't catch it.
Well, so it was a interview from several years ago where she had directed a documentary about I forget what the exact term is, but women being murdered in Pakistan for being basically for not bowing down, you know, not wearing the appropriate attire, just women being murdered on the streets and stuff like that. So she had made this documentary about that. And the comment was she wants to make those men uncomfortable. That's right. Where that comment.
So again, out of context on the internet.
Out of context. So, yeah.
There we go. So bringing education to the masses for those that are already mad about it. Right. So that part,
not that it's going to change your opinion, but yeah.
But hey, maybe it will if they get some knowledge, right? Some facts. So it helps me understand. So that's what we got to do. But still, to that point is I don't need to hear about it's about time a woman took the reins, because you know what? Nobody's ever saying we're going to keep. No, I don't think there was ever a gatekeeping, system where like, hey, we're not going to put a woman in charge of a film. It was just the next set of films was JJ, you know, and then it just kind of rolled through that. I don't think it was ever like an intentional go. It's just weird.
Comparing what we got with what Bryce Dallas Howard put out, I would have rather have had Bryce Dallas Howard or Chow directing one of them rather than JJ. I don't know, man. I get it, but at the same time, I'm just tired because you know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to say something like that, or somebody's going to take a conversation out of context from years ago. They're going to put it out there, and then we're going to hear crap about it on the internet for the next, 2 years while this film is being made.
And then the movie, no matter how good it is going to get soloed, right? You're going to end up being a bomb because everybody is not paying attention to what's really happening, or they're caught up in your message that you were trying to pull, right? And they're staying away from the movie, which could be great, right? Like Solo, terribly underperformed because of Last Jedi and all the other crap that was going on at the time. So I just don't want it to fall into that. I want it to be successful. And I think it's funny she said it too, because Patty Jenkins had that gig before she did. And I don't remember Patty Jenkins saying that either. I don't remember that. No. I think it was more, she was just excited about doing like a
Top Gun,
like a Top Gun type film, and how her father, all this stuff. I don't remember anything about, hey, it just wasn't there, but now it is. Right. So anyway,
and I didn't mind until I saw Wonder Woman 84. I saw Wonder Woman 84 and I'm like, oh God, please. Yeah.
Garbage. Not even Gal Gadot can save that. There's no.
Yeah. Gordon's got a question for us here. He goes, do you guys think there might've been a little damage control with the Mando Grogu announcement because of the negative press from last week? I think we're going to get into that.
I think let's go ahead and segue right over to the good movie news, right?
Sure.
So
do you want me to bring up the story so we can all look at it?
So we actually got an actual press release out of nowhere, right? So we're all waiting on AHSOKA season 2, which sneaks its ass right into this too. But when you get this graphic up, we'll talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu film directed by Jon Favreau. So there we go. We went from season 3, wondering if there's going to be a season 4, where it'll fit, where AHSOKA 2 will fit, where all this will go on. And boom, they hit us with this deal with the Mandalorian and Grogu going to the big screen. So we're going to get an hour 40 to 2 hour movie of Grogu. I did hear rumor of it being a trilogy of sorts, but I don't know why they would do that. I also heard that Deadline reported that it will still get a season 4. Right, that this is not a instead of it's this and then a season 4 at a different
Right.
later time. So we got a lot of pieces going on here. We'll have to work through and kind of talk through.
So my fear was whenever I see, I have enjoyed the hell out of The Mandalorian, all 3 seasons. I know there's a lot of people that don't care for season 3 because they wanted, I don't know what the hell they wanted. We've been setting this up since the Clone Wars, the whole Mandalorian race, the dark saber, the ruling of Mandalore. That's been coming up since season 3 of the Clone Wars. I don't know how many years ago that is now. What is that? 13 years ago, maybe it's been started.
Yeah.
To expect them to not go down that direction, that's dumb.
When you're in a movie or show with Mandalorians going through the culture, you're not going to deal with the actual culture of Mandalore and what's going on there. It's going to have to. It was natural. It was I love that. I love that season, and it can't always be the deal of the week, right? The adventure of the week and all this stuff and video game playing like it was. That extra story in there about Mandalore was awesome. I don't understand negativity in that way.
I don't either, man.
But I know you were worried about like finality of a film. You're saying,
yeah. Usually, whenever you get one of 2 things. You get what they've been talking about with the show Community for years. It's like 7 seasons in a movie to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Usually, what happens? You get X number of seasons, and then you get a movie, and that ties a little bow around everything. Or you get the X-Files, where you've got these awesome 5 seasons. A movie comes out, it's like, oh, okay, and then whenever it comes back, it's not quite what the X-Files once was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It didn't feel quite right. So that's what I don't know. I don't know how I feel about
this.
See,
we left Mando and Grogu pretty retired, right? I mean, they're gonna go work with Carson, but they're sitting on their ranch and eating Cheerios and chasing frogs. It's we don't have an adventure right now. So maybe this kicks off the adventure. Maybe they don't have a full season. They don't need a full season to get to this and to Ahsoka, which was snuck into that press right there saying Ahsoka season 2, which didn't get any fanfare until today, but that was snuck in there. So how do you get to that, to Ahsoka season 2, to the Heir to the Empire film, right? All this, how do you get there? And Mando's been out of the picture for a second. So you need to have a quick adventure with Mando, nothing major, not a whole 6 episodes, 8 episodes. You just need 2 hours, hour and a half to 2 hours. Boom, put him in here, get him with some people, hook him back up with Ahsoka at the end. Now you're into Ahsoka season 2 with the Mando in tow and Grogu in tow.
Which, did you see Dave Filoni's image that he shared, his little sketch?
Yeah. The
story continues.
There it is with Ahsoka and Sabine knowing where they're going. So this is where it's going to play. It's the father's pointing to where we're going. So this is going to be cool. I don't know what they're going to do with Balin. I hope they announce that sooner than later. I don't want to be surprised. I don't want to see it in a trailer. I just want them to kind of let's talk about the elephant in the room, get it done, or talk about who it's going to be. If it's going to be recast, if whatever it's going to be, just tell us right now so we don't have to worry about that. That's a weird situation they're in. But they've done it before with Leia. We knew there were going to be scenes with Leia ahead of time. We knew that before it came out. So I would like to. I would hope the same now.
But they also had X amount of footage of Leia doing her thing. I mean, they could absolutely synthesize his voice based on, all the dozens of movies that the dude was in. They could, digitally animate his face if they wanted to. We've seen they can do that. That technology's improved dramatically. Just watching Dial of Destiny the other day and what they were able to do with Harrison Ford proves that they can still do that. I don't know. I don't know if I want them to continue on with Ray Stevenson, but I don't know if they've got the archival footage necessary. I don't know, because he only had that beard for this show. I don't know I don't know how much of that they need to use.
That's tough, man. It's tough. I would love it just to be there, but can you, as a CGI character with a synthesized voice, we hear Luke, and Harrison Ford kind of has a funny tone anyway. Right? Could you get the gravitas that he had in Ray Stevenson had through a computer generated AI, or would it come off like, to me, Luke doesn't sound quite right. Luke sounds like he's speaking slower and it's
more
just
deliberately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not Jedi Master Luke, but like the computer's thinking it through. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
timing is just not right. I would hate for
But if
that
you
to
think
happen.
about it, Balin was a very monotone, very low register. He spoke he didn't speak fast. He spoke very slowly and he went directly to the point. You know, his answers were all either yes, no, maybe. You know, he didn't do a lot of.
I wonder if they're already
supposition.
testing it before they
Exposition.
decide and tell us. Like they're sitting there already working it out. Like, okay, is this passable? Is this going to work? Is it an option? Or do they just decide, like, or do they sit in a room and say, okay, which way are we going to go? And we'll just make it work either way. Because they have the technology to make it kind of work.
It wouldn't surprise me if they had a team on both. You know, if they were doing some pre-casting, you know, putting up call sheets or putting up headshots, looking at what people, you know, looking at the look of people, getting their voices, seeing how they sound. And then at the same time, you've got the deep fakers over here on the left going, okay, we can do this. So, you know, and maybe they do a Moff Tarkin situation where they pull in somebody who kind of resembles him and then overlay the face on top of him, you know? And well, number one, that's probably what they're going to have to do anyway if they do the digital. But I don't know, man.
Wild.
Or whenever Ahsoka and Sabine finally arrive at the destination, maybe something has happened to him. Think Darth Bane, you know, or Darth Bane was covered in all the mollusks or whatever it was that had completely covered his body and he had a helmet and the whole bit. Anything could happen.
That'd be kind of cool. Just use him for like an episode or two until something happens to him. Then you can cover him up in something, and it kind of takes a. We play that with Mando anyway, right? Cover the face, and you are who you are. I kind of like that. I could dig that.
And then you can even have the beard poking out the bottom of it if you needed to, and just have, you know, some kind of mask, a Batman-esque mask, if you will.
I am.
But I'm excited about the Ahsoka series. What are your thoughts on the Mandalorian movie? I mean, because you know my reservations, but at the same time, I'm also very excited to see what might happen.
It depends on the timing, which one's going in order, right? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I would think the Mando movie would bring everybody together to fight the Empire. Almost like right before the Heir of the Empire. Like it would go boom, boom, like year after year, right? You would go Mando and Grogu and then jump into the Heir of the Empire. Like the TV shows might be done by then. Like Ahsoka season 2, you would think would deal with what we saw there, her and the other galaxy and getting back, and the side story on that. Because they never just do one story at a time. So they
already set Thrawn up.
Yeah, so their Thrawn's over here on this side of the galaxy. We got to get them all back together. No, they're not going to kill Sabine and Ahsoka and Huyang.
No way.
Huyang. It's just not. They can't kill them all.
Yeah.
God, that'd be wild if they did. But
wouldn't it?
You got to bring them all together. So I'm assuming that film would be it. Oh God, it just depends on what they're using it for, I suppose. I'm excited for it though. I don't see. Okay, here's the thing. I again trying to stay off the internet because I just it really messes with my sanity sometimes and my happiness, and I like to be happy.
Seriously,
but I go on because I want to check my news real fast and see if there's anything new, and this happens. Well, I see Roe, you know, from Red 5. And I see one of his posts kind of alluding to the fact that everybody's being negative and why is everybody hating Star Wars again? And this and I'm all, it's because we announced a movie today that everybody's going to hate on Star Wars. I'm all, we just got a movie. When's the last time we got a freaking movie? And we're getting a movie with two of the most beloved characters that's on the Disney Plus. Why are we not excited about this? Who can have a negative effing thing to say about it?
Directed by Jon Favreau, the guy who brought us Iron Man and Elf. I mean,
right.
I'm like, what is wrong? What will it take? Okay. At this point,
honest to God, dude.
If I'm looking at you, YouTube and World Wide Web out there, just walk away. If you are so goddamn unhappy that you want to just get online and you're handed this awesome information and all you want to do is get pissed about it and yell about it and say Star Wars is dead, walk away. Go watch Marvel. Go watch DC because, you know, Aquaman is such a great movie. Just step away. Go find something that makes you happy. Go watch General Hospital. There's like 70 years worth of it to get caught up on. Leave Star Wars. Just walk away. But it's not making you happy. You're not making it happy. Leave. Okay?
They're going to go to General Hospital boards, right, and podcasts right. and pages, and they're going to complain over there too. There's always going to be half the people that are at least the loud people are going to be complaining. Again, okay, so I've run customer service teams for 20 some odd years, right?
Yeah.
I hardly ever hear when people are happy. You know,
Right.
I hear when people are pissed, and that's all we're going to hear on the internet. There's a few of us that go out there and try and drop positivity, right?
Yeah.
And here and there, but some of us get beat down too. And I'm done because it breeds it, man. It takes
Yeah.
your opinion and skews it, and it messes with it. And there's just so much, and it's really hard to get out of that little corner of the internet when you're on it. And it's
Yeah.
really hard not to fight all the time, dude. I've seen you lately getting riled up about some comments, and I'm not playing it anymore because I used to. I used to get riled up going in there and afraid to brawl in Instagram and on Facebook and Twitter. And I'm like, you know what? All these clowns, I'm not changing their opinion. And actually, what got me in that is realizing that our Star Wars fan base is like a fan of sports, right? I'm an Angel fan. I hate the Dodgers, right? Dodgers hate the Giants. You know, everybody hates the Yankees. You know, it's how it works. You're going to hate things. You're going to argue about things. You're always going to want to find the person with opposing views. Politics, the same thing. I just see politics as a sport, and people are fans one way or the other, and they found their personality in it somewhere. You know, same thing here. I love Star Wars. It's part of my personality, right? I got a tattoo sleeve going. I got a kid named Luke. I've got shirts all day, and I got a bajillion pops back here. You know, it's part of my personality. You know, so you want to defend it at all time, and people that bitch at it, it brings you down. Same with politics or sports or General Hospital, even or whatever.
You're not wrong.
Darts. There's dart fans super to get into. You know, everything you can think of. There is a fan base and somebody that will get into a message board and complain and bitch, and somebody that will fight them for it. And it's the internet sucks. People suck.
It does. It's funny because you look back at which was it? It was Jay and Silent Bob. What was the first movie? Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh yeah, right? I love Strike Back.
where they talk about the internet. What's the internet? The internet's a place where people hate everything and watch porn, right?
It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed at all.
Those were message boards. We weren't even on Facebook. I don't even know if we were on MySpace right then. Those were straight up. That was moviepoopshoot.com. That was a web page. That was a blog. And we weren't even there, and it was the same exact thing, man. It's madness.
And I'm not saying, walk away as, I'm not saying that to be a dick. I walked away. I did. I walked away from Star Wars after the prequels. I needed time. I needed time to recover because I was not happy. I'm still not 100% happy with those, especially the second one. I
Stop.
Can't. Right?
I'm going to get into attacking.
But this is what I'm talking about, though. I walked away. I took a break, and whenever it came back, whenever I came back to it, it was new and fresh again, with Rebels and Clone Wars, and it felt better again,
Yeah.
So just step away and maybe you'll feel better in a couple of years. And I was talking to somebody else about it today, and I'm like, you know what? In 10, 15 years, everybody's going to love the sequels because everybody's going to have something else to bitch about now, right? It's all going to be whatever the next trilogy is.
I can't find myself loving the sequels. I can love The Force Awakens. I can always appreciate The Force Awakens. I can appreciate The Last Jedi for what it is and how it tried to be different in the visuals and even the story and Luke's arc. I like all that. I don't like the 18 minutes or 18-hour deal. Right. And then obviously the last one is just a clusterfuck.
It is.
It's just a mess. I tried again, man. There's a lot of cool things in it. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
When you watch it, you're like, oh, but it's not like Attack of the Clones, where Attack of the Clones had a lot of cool things. It just wasn't executed exactly well. This had a lot of cool things and wasn't executed at all. Like it had the visuals, but it was just jumbled.
It had the visuals and it had the acting. The acting chops were there.
Yeah.
But the story wasn't there. The story, and that's what Attack of the Clones had in spades. The Attack of the Clones had story.
Yeah.
There was a story there, right?
Yep.
And it was a good story. It was the execution of that story that kills me. But real quick, Mudhorn has a question, and it seems like it's a very
I like that.
Very good timing for that.
Yeah.
Is this why John Williams is unretiring? Will he score the new Mando and Grogu movie? That's a good question.
I would hope so, but you know what? I would think Ludwig would do that one, and Williams would be back to do the others. I think Williams giving AHSOKA, not AHSOKA, the Heir to the Empire, a proper score is the ticket, man. That's it. Then you get a proper Thrawn theme in there, like with the orchestra, and
right.
I think that'd be the.
I agree, because I think to see Mando and Grogu on screen and not hearing da-dun, the theme from Ludwig that he had created, I don't think it would feel quite right.
Right.
There's a very Western feel to the theme, and John Williams isn't really a Western theme kind of guy. I love John Williams, don't get me wrong. All of his stuff is very epic, but you can see themes that run through all of his movie soundtracks.
Dude, Superman, Harry Potter, E.T., Jones, Star Wars, they're all the same. They get the same moves. Yeah.
Exactly. You could put one next to the other and just, oh, wait, damn, that's a different movie. You wouldn't necessarily know. And I think that wouldn't work for Mandalorian. Yeah. So I don't think so, Mudhorn, but I mean, anything is possible at this point.
I really hope he is out of retirement. We got Star Wars movies coming up. What a better thing. He needs to do epic stuff. There's nothing else really going on. There's not a new Potter movie or something that he's already within, that genre or that IP, except Star Wars. Why not? That's awesome.
Well, they could do the Cursed Child, the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, and watch how that doesn't do anything at the box office.
I know. I'd go see it.
I would too.
I don't know if I'd see it 4 or 5 times, but I know I'd go see it once for sure.
Yep.
They're gonna do that just because I'm kind of shocked they haven't done it yet. How you can have a play and put a movie on is kind of weird.
It is. I wonder if they're waiting for the actors to age up a little bit more, or
to get to the perfect age to have the right age kids. That's probably right.
Or and also finish the whole Fantastic Beasts saga, because I think there's like one more movie that's supposed to be coming out for that. And
I might be one behind. I don't even know.
I saw one on my shelf the other day, and I'm like, I don't remember that movie at all. It's the last one that came, like The Secrets of Dumbledore or whatever it was. I'm like, oh no, I saw it, but I have no recollection other than a big battle on like a shrine at the end. I remember nothing of that movie.
They just need to wrap that one up. It doesn't have the same magic, but kind of like the sequels.
Yeah,
with Star Wars.
Yeah,
sometimes you just lack the magic. Or I hate to say it, I'm going to say it. Andor, it didn't have my magic because Beast. I get it. Fantastic Beasts is. I enjoy Fantastic Beasts. It's just not the same as Harry Potter.
No, it's not.
And that's how I see. I like Andor.
With Harry Potter, it had that blueprint. It had you had the 7 books. It had the blueprint. Follow it through. Fantastic Beasts, I feel like it's being made up as they go along. It doesn't feel like a cohesive story necessarily. It's like it's taking some interesting twists and turns in it with some of the character development, but it doesn't feel like it's not definitely not on the same level. Let's put it that way.
And that was a major recast on the. I don't know how we got into this. That was a wayside shoot, but that was a major recast from Depp to Mickelson. That's a hard thing not to let bother you. I don't care how good the actor is. That's a hard recast.
Mickelsen's great, but going from Johnny Depp to that, it just absolutely.
All right, let's bring it back. Let's see. What was that? There was a question here. Crawl for Mando. Good question, Joey. Imagine if you were on this show dropping things like that. With the AHSOKA, we got that little mini crawl. I could see that kind of thing happening from now on. I think they realize with that, unless that's kind of important to us. We like that stuff. Make it different than the 9. But do something like that to give us a little background. It's important to Star Wars. Clone Wars did it, like a little bit. Solo had enough.
Yeah, Solo had it. Rogue One had a little bit too, didn't it?
Gosh, I just feel like it had a sentence in the beginning.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong.
It had the a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and I think it just went bang, and you were just in the action.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's
right. What Rogue One and Andor did that I would like to see carried through all of Star Wars, and this might completely rankle some feathers in the chat right here. I would like to see the names of planets on screen again.
Me too.
Because Andor, it really helped. Rogue One, it was great. Imagine if Rise of Skywalker at the beginning, it would have said Mustafar. If it would have just said Mustafar, we wouldn't have been like, what planet is that?
That would have changed my perception of the very beginning of the movie. Like, I'm like, oh man, we're on Mustafar. Good for them.
Yeah.
Exegol. What's Exegol? You know what I mean? Yeah, do that, dude.
Or they're
yeah.
destroying the New Republic. And, I'm sitting there going, holy shit, they just blew up Coruscant. This is amazing. No, it's Hosnian Prime. Who gives a shit about about this planet we've never heard about before?
Yeah.
Put the names on the screen of the planets and, give us a tour of the galaxy. There's the more movies come out, the more planets we're getting, it's, I don't know. When Babu Frick's planet was destroyed in Rise of Skywalker, I was like, oh, right. That place. Okay. We were there 15 minutes ago. Who cares? Moving on.
Oh, that one. I'm like, what was Babu Frick's planet? I did a little snowy joint. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. And you don't remember the name of the planet. I don't remember the name of the planet. Give us the names of the planet.
No, I don't.
It was very helpful.
Do you think they overdid it with planets in the sequels? Because now think about it. Because we only had Tatooine and Yavin, right? We had Hoth
and the Death Star,
and Bespin, right? And then we had Endor. I mean,
Endor and Tatooine, and the Death Star.
But we already had
so
Tatooine.
Every movie,
right.
And then we had. Let me see. We had in the prequels, we had Tatooine, we had Naboo, and Coruscant. So you had the 3 planets there. Attack of the Clones, Geonosis, Coruscant, Tatooine.
That was it.
Naboo was on there. So you had 4 planets there.
Yeah, that's right.
Revenge of the Sith, they started hitting us with Utapau and
we're in Coruscant again.
Coruscant. We had the planet where all the 66, Seleucami and all these other planets where some action was happening, plus Mustafar. And, so there was a lot.
Yeah, they did. But that kind of needed it there, right? I mean, you had to show the spread of it. I just think that we went to a lot of places. It just feels like maybe not, but they don't feel, they're definitely not as iconic.
No,
right? I don't think of anywhere. I don't think Jakku may be the closest thing to it.
Maybe, yeah.
And that's
but even
because,
they said Jakku 50 freaking times in the movie, and they said it differently. Every character said Jakku differently, right? So, but they really hammered it home. It was Jakku.
Right.
What was Maz Kanata's planet called again?
Taakadana.
There we go. Did they say it
once?
Maybe. Okay.
Did they? Maybe they didn't. Maybe I don't even know if they did, man. I don't know.
And then whatever planet the Resistance was on.
They did say where they were gonna go.
Right.
The base.
And then Hosnian Prime. We had the Hosnian system.
Yeah.
But just think.
And Star Killer was on Ilum, but we,
Right. So, I mean, if they would have given us just a little bit more information, and I really like the way they did it in Andor and Rogue One. And I like that was we're in the Rogue One universe and they're showing us planets on Andor, and it had that nice follow through,
It did. And that's probably why they did that. That's a great ad. And they really should do that. Not every time you see a planet, but when you're coming up to it, they do it really well in those movies perfectly. Guardians of the Galaxy does it. When you go somewhere new, I'm like, oh, here we are.
Maybe that's what they're afraid of, is they don't want it to be too Guardians of the Galaxy-ish. And it hasn't really been done in Star Wars other than those 2 that we mentioned. So maybe they're afraid. Maybe. I don't know what they're afraid of, but hey, wanted to give a special shout out to Junobi there, Julie Fernie, our friend from Alaska.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that super chat. Really appreciate it. We've missed you too. So I don't know, man. I think giving us a little bit more information would be cool.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, dude.
We've got Bondage Brittany. It's not cheap or simple to have lots of crazy planets that don't look like California or Earth without CGI.
And you got yucca bushes or whatever the hell, and
Joshua trees and yuccas and sage bushes that are seriously in my backyard. I could go film another episode of Kenobi in my backyard right now. And
Boba Fett was pretty. All of them were somewhere in town, or somewhere local. But when you're trying to on a budget, and again, most people don't see Joshua trees, right? Most people will never see a Joshua tree outside of here,
right?
So when you throw that somewhere else, it's absolutely foreign and alien to them. So I can't even fault them.
The like 300 miles though between Palm Desert and Joshua Tree National Park and Las Vegas, it's all Joshua trees. So if you ever come out to Las Vegas, you're going to see lots of them.
Yeah,
it was just so weird. So anyway, I digress.
No,
Yeah.
I see. Rhino Hobbies brought a name up. Somebody's talking about it right now about Cal Kestis, right? So it's about time we probably get him in something too. So one of these films would be kind of a cool ad, another season. I think it's time to start bringing in the video game characters to the
That'd be
films,
great.
to the Disney Plus or something. So same age as Ahsoka, I would just about agree with that. Probably a little bit younger, maybe a touch younger.
Yeah.
Like a couple years, but that'd be it. And if we're going against Heir of the Empire, I think we should load up on Jedi at this point. You know, we're rebuilding the Order for a minute. We're going to fight. I think get them all.
That'd be cool. I mean, we there's still a lot of Jedi out there that we don't know their ultimate fate, you know, and we know that a lot of them got away. Like Quinlan DeVos. I mean, we had his name dropped in Kenobi. I mean, I'd like to see, even if it's not an Heir of the Empire, I'd love to see what happened to him.
Oh, you know what? There's a good talking point right there. I did see a rumor that Tales of the Jedi was going to expand to Tales of the Sith and Tales of the Bounty Hunter type
Love
thing.
that.
Yeah, that would be where we get a lot of that stuff, I would assume, right?
That would be cool.
They could fill us in with all sorts of madness on these characters and cool characters, and
they could definitely flesh out some of that. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. So if you're getting Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Sith, Tales of the Bounty Hunters and stuff like that, I wonder if that could be kind of Bounty Hunter adjacent, but I wonder if that's where we get the Crimson Dawn finale. Whatever happened to Kira and Maul whenever they got together, and
because it might even be like Tales of the Underworld, maybe not so much Bounty Hunter, you know, and then you kind of mix it up, because if you're just doing Bounty Hunters all the time, that's pretty boring too. You don't want to go to Dengar to IG to, you know, you just want to roll down the line. So,
but those are all characters that we were introduced to in Empire that we've been begging to see more of, especially in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
and it just didn't happen. You know,
that's a miss. That really is a miss. Those guys are alive right now, and Boba Fett knows them. Why is Dengar and why is this not happening? Why use IG-11 when you have 88s?
Right, and we had a whole section of Trandoshans, on a whole community of Trandoshans on Tatooine. Why was none of them Bosk? Right.
Why do none of them look like Bosk?
Right. All of it. And it's funny because I just finished watching Book of Boba Fett, and all the Trandoshans, they really looked a lot like Sleestacks.
They're more Sleestack than Bosk.
Right. But it would have been an awesome opportunity for Kersantin to go up against. Could you imagine Kersantin versus Bosk? Yeah. How cool would that be?
That still needs to happen. See, that's why I wouldn't, as much as I didn't love Book of Boba Fett, it had so many cool things in there. I would watch it just to enjoy it for the comic bookness of it, right? You got so many, like Kersantin and riding a Rancor, and all this stuff is just very over the top cool. You know, I would watch just for the entertainment, but that would be the next step. And he ripped off, didn't he rip off somebody's arm?
He ripped off a Trandoshan's arm in the middle of Garza's cantina. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I would love that. We need more of that. That's why I want Book of Boba Fett, because Book of Boba Fett can kind of, they've shown now they can kind of go there. That's probably the most comic booky one of them all. And that would be
all the way around. Yeah, all the way around, because you had characters from the comic books like Kersantin making their live action debut, right? You had almost like an adventure of the week kind of thing, where he would meet somebody else and they would join his crew, you know, video game and comic book, you know, building up to the big boss fight at the end. And then you had your side mission where you saw, you know, Mandalorian and Grogu, and you saw Luke Skywalker. It felt very much like a big comic book crossover event, right? It just didn't quite hit the mark in a few places, which is a bummer. I still look at the moped crew as being a absolute miss.
I think that's where it went off the rails, man. Because then the internet blew up, just like it does, right? I think if I were to watch that without the influence of the internet ever, and without doing this show, I probably would have got over it pretty quick, and it's been like I roll my eyes at it, right? Yeah. Because most things that I don't follow on the internet, I can roll my eyes at the shit. But that one bothered me, and it was just like, because I couldn't defend it. That's what it is. Something like that happens, and I don't like it, but I'm not going to complain about it as much. But everybody else is, and I can't defend it. So now I'm mad. And my mood's all bad. And messed up my Star Wars because you put some stupid mopeds in it.
Right. I love the fact that we were all questioning Boba Fett's motivations. What's his point? Why is he doing this in the first place? You know? Yeah. And then at the end, Cad Bane pops out and says, "What's your angle?" And we're all like,
That's my favorite thing. That's what I've been
Yes,
saying this
please.
whole damn series is what's your
Yeah.
angle, Boba? I don't know. I still
Yeah.
don't know, but
But
whatever.
it
But
was
he's got to
still
come back too. See, we're still Boba Fettless. He didn't come back the last season. He could have come back
Mm-mm.
in Mando 3. He hasn't shown up again, so he's coming back soon.
What if he comes back in the Mandalorian's movie? What if it's a Mandalorian Grogu and Boba Fett shows up? I mean, that would be pretty awesome.
That would need to happen because I think that movie, if it's timed before air, that's got to be the rounding up the posse movie. That's got to be what that is. Your Ocean's 11 type. Let's get him from here and there and do this little montage of grabbing people and doing things.
Yeah.
I would think that would have to be it, though. I don't know how the story would go and how boring it would be for everybody just to watch him gathering people. I don't know what the story. I don't know where the story's going at this point. So.
Right. We don't know if it's a heist. We don't know if it's a bounty. We don't know if it's something bigger than that. We don't know if this is where, Grogu finally puts on the helmet and becomes a Mandalorian.
You know what? I hope it's driven by Carson because Carson's been worried about stuff in the Outer Rim anyway. I hope it's kid abductions and they're taking Jedi kids and that's the mission. And then we're dealing with that.
Jedi kids, or it could even be the disappearance of people becoming stormtroopers.
Because that's when Lando's daughter was taken. So we would deal with Lando's kid getting taken. That could be the story.
It could be. It could be. What was it? Operation Necromancer that they were talking about in the Shadow Council, where it was Hux's dad.
Yeah.
And we know that Hux's dad was in charge of the kidnapping of children and turning them into stormtroopers. So, Mando has a very, very soft spot for kids. So do all Mandalorians. They want to protect the children to raise them up to be.
And that's how the end is. He saves these kids that were kidnapped, and they all become youngling or foundlings. And
that'd be amazing.
They're growing the Mandalorian race on Mandalore again. Holy, that's it. That's the
right.
Way. We just figure out the story.
This is the way. This is the way.
This is absolutely the way. If they don't do it, shame on them. That's
right?
Perfect. That gave me chills. I'm good.
Well, that's just one of those aspects that they haven't touched in books, even. That other than I think the Aftermath books kind of touched on Hux and it is
just a bit.
Taking of children, just a bit. But this is after that. He's still out there. He's still gathering the First Order kids. I freaking love this.
Yeah.
Brandon Epler says he liked the Book of Boba Fett for the little things it provided in the big universal story we get a better understanding of. Absolutely. There was a lot of lore and like Gordon says right here, a lot of really cool lore. And, in Book of Boba Fett, we also got a little bit more of Grogu's history and a little bit more of the
Huts, how the twins came and were taking over that was there. I think that was all cool. I liked seeing other Huts in gangster type modes. I liked all of it. All that stuff. There was just his motivation and the mopeds. Take that away, and I'm pretty good. But the motivation's a problem.
Motivation's a problem. The mopeds were eye rolling, and then the Pike Syndicate all showing up on public transport. I'm like,
why would you land one place to take a train somewhere you could have just flown? You're the Pike Syndicate, land.
They own Kessel. They run Kessel. They have money. They can have ships.
Why are we doing that? Yeah.
There was, it's like every single show that we've got so far has been really cool with really head scratching moments in it.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm looking at season 3 of Mandalorian where they're trying to find the part to restore IG-11. And it's the thing where Mando has to go search for the parts and Grief Karga is like, they could find the part. They could fix it. But he still leaves to go get the part.
He said, if they can't find it, I don't know who can. Then why am I going? That was the quote. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing to say right there. I mean, I don't even understand how that made it into the lines. He's leaving to find it. So why would you say that?
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It was.
Oh,
but Crystal E bringing up the birds they roasted, talking about the Mandalorians, how they got the birds. Yeah.
Well, that's all right. I mean, that's a lot of feeding.
The other foundlings got to eat, right?
Hey, Mando's got to eat, man.
That's right.
Hey, so let's since we're just about done here, let's roll a little bit beyond the pit. I was going to tell you about Echo.
Cool.
It came out like today, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yesterday, the 9th.
Okay. Yes. Right. So I wrapped it up. It was yesterday. Yeah. So I wrapped it up. It was only 5 episodes. I wasn't expecting it to be 5. I was pleasantly shocked. So if anybody's wondering, I watch them all. I start them all. And if I don't like them, man, like Miss Marvel, it wasn't bad, dude. It was just not my cup of tea. Right.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. I forced myself through that, man.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was rough.
The thing that sucks is I really enjoyed all the actors in Moon Knight. I really like Oscar Isaac. I like what's his name that played the villain.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke. I love Ethan Hawke, but there's something about that movie or show that just did not track.
And Ethan Hawke didn't feel right. It didn't feel the character just didn't feel right in that role. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that was a problem. But so I go into Echo and I'm gonna watch it, and I'm like, well, here we go. Let's give it a whirl. After about 5 minutes, I'm like, I don't know. Where is this going? This is not how I understood this character, right? This stuff. And all of a sudden, once I got to the kid and they go through her little life, they go through her life in the beginning, they get to her. I love the character. I was like, oh no, how'd this happen? How am I not sitting here upset that I'm watching this? Okay, this is the Panderverse in this show, right? I mean, like she's a minority female with 2 disabilities. I mean, like we're going like in on it, and I'm like, what is she gonna do? And for some reason, when she started kicking multiple dudes' asses, I didn't mind. And sometimes that bothers me. I don't know why. You know, I do know why. Because I'm like, why this kid with no training, and she's 110 pounds, able to beat up a bunch of 6'6", 300-pound dudes. But when she did it, I had zero problem. I bought it. I bought the actress. I bought the character. I like the whole family. Kind of talking about Miss Marvel. We're getting into different cultures and stuff, right? I love the family. I love all the cousins, the grandma. Everybody was cool. Kingpin was fantastic, but it had a couple misses. I have a problem with most Marvel things landing the plane, man. They just can't. They can't dismount and land. I didn't like the ending as much as I wanted to. It was kind of. I'll say this: it was like Rise of Skywalker-esque in the beginning, in the end, and just I didn't dig on it all. Okay. That was it. But besides that, and that's the thing that sucks. I was going like, man, it's like a 4.5 series. Was not expecting, especially after Loki. I'm going to be a lot harder on things. I love Loki.
Loki was well done. Good.
But point is there. Point is, if anybody wants to watch a show, Echo's a good watch. It's 5 episodes. I was on 5 and I was getting revved up, and I'm like, okay, cool. I only got 1 more episode. I'm gonna get this done tonight, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh wait, this is a pretty big fight. This is probably it. And then I paused it real quick and I'm all, how many episodes is this? I'm all, I'm in the finale and I only got like 6 minutes left. Lame. Because I was ready for more, and I don't get that way with a lot of the Marvel stuff anymore. So it's gonna be a one shot. It sets up kind of the street level stuff with Kingpin, and it's cool. I dig it. So if anybody on there was on the fence about that, don't be. That was pretty good. Worth the watch.
Awesome. I on New Year's Eve, we had free tickets to go to the movies. So we're like, oh, let's go watch a couple movies. We went and saw Wonka, which was absolutely fantastic. Wonka was really, really well done.
Oh, good. That's on our list.
Yeah, it should be. It's really well done. It feels very much like the original Willy Wonka. It's his origin story. It's really well done. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't know what it is about every freaking movie nowadays that has to have a dead parent in it that kind of guides the character's motivations. I'm like, it hits just a little too close to home every time. Yeah. Julie and I are sitting there watching it going, oh, okay, we're fine. But and then we went and saw the shit show that is Aquaman.
Oh,
and I will give Aquaman a -2.
Really?
That movie was terrible.
Oh.
It's funny because I'm looking at Aquaman and I'm looking at his brother and I'm like, his brother has the look, the cadence, the sound. He embodies everything that Aquaman in the comics embodies. And I'm like,
he looks like
and then I'm looking at Jason Momoa and I'm like, it's just everything. Every 5 minutes, it's all woo, and it's I'm gonna punch this guy because I'm tough and I can do that.
He's already Lobo.
He is.
He's already that. Yeah.
Paint his face white with little black marks. You've got Lobo.
That's where he's going to be. I think it's already confirmed. I'm pretty sure he's already.
Really?
I'm pretty sure he's already Lobo.
Oh my God. Well, that's a perfect bit of casting.
Yeah, we're just slogging through this bullshit, right? I mean, Blue Beetle was okay. Right, I didn't mind
loved Blue Beetle.
Oh, see, I thought it was okay. I
really
didn't
did.
love it, but I haven't got to focus on it. So I want to sit down and focus on it.
I am a huge fan of the Justice League and the Justice League International comics and the whole Blue Beetle Booster Gold thing, Ted Kord, the Bug, everything. Yeah. So that movie hit all the right, and I love Jaime Reyes too. I read all the comics since he debuted, so it hit all the right notes just perfectly, just enough of the Kord Industries tech to make Blue Beetle work, and the mythical scarab, the mystic side of it all, the technology of it all, and his family and his grandmother was fantastic.
Noticing a trend here with the families of ethnic origins. We really get it. I know. I know. That's what's funny. Yeah. It's like they bring them in and make them like the biggest part of the story.
Yeah,
and they're my favorite. They're my favorite part. Or even I didn't like the adult versions of them, but I like the orphan kids in Captain Shazam.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Shazam. Yeah. I didn't like the adult versions.
I didn't either, but the kids were great.
Yeah, I like the families and the adopted parents were awesome.
Yeah, they were awesome.
Families are better than all these characters. It sucks.
Yeah, we got a couple questions in the pit. We've got Mudhorn here saying Echo is great. We've got y'all didn't like Moon Knight. It was weird enough to be kind of fun, but at the same time, there was something about it that just felt off. I can't quite put it into words. I've read the comics for Moon Knight, so I know the character Mark Spector, and I know where he comes from and all of his different personalities and all that. I don't think it quite, I don't know. It was weird enough to keep me watching, but it wasn't good enough to make me come back for more or come back and watch it a second time.
Oh, I did watch it a second time because the first time I'm like, I'm missing something. I've got to like this better with the actors in this and everything. Oh my God, I must have slept through 2 episodes. I'm thinking, and so I watched it again, and it didn't get much better the second time. And usually I'm pretty good on the second watch on stuff, and I get to get past the flaws. I noticed the first time I just watch and enjoy it. I was just like, I didn't dig it at all.
I even love Egyptian mythology. I've read a lot of Egyptian mythology. I've read up on the history of like Cleopatra and all that. It intrigues me, and for some reason this just didn't. Yeah. Mudhorn with another question: when do you think the Mando movie will come out? Probably not Christmas, right? Since there's Avatar, so summer.
Did it say? It said it's going to production end of the year. I thought so. If it goes into production, what's that?
It just says it's going into production in 2024. So
I wouldn't expect that till probably 26, maybe end of 25 or in 26. If they do the Maze again, that'd be cool with me. I like a Maze Star Wars Maze. Oh, I like Christmas too. What's the matter?
I like the Christmas movies. Yeah,
I'll take it on Groundhog Day. I'm good.
Arbor Day, whatever day Arbor Day is, we'll take it. I think that's right after Christmas. Brandon Epler, who is the biggest reader on the Sarlacc Digest? I am so much more of a reader than I am watching shows besides Star Wars and a select few other shows.
I'd say Scott right now more than me because I can't get in the High Republic. Generally, I would have said me, but I can't. You're ahead of me on the High Republic.
Yeah. I am a pretty big reader whenever it comes to comics mostly and the Star Wars novels. I do audiobooks a lot. So I am constantly either listening to podcasts or audiobooks whenever I'm driving on my hour plus commute. By the way, the High Republic, it started off really good with the first wave. The second wave got really kind of slow, and I didn't see what the point was, but they landed the plane on the second series of High Republic. They landed the plane. They figured out what to do right there. And it had me completely in. I was 100% in. They finally figured out how to use Yoda properly in the series. It just worked. And then the first book in the third phase of the High Republic was really good. So I'm eagerly anticipating its return. There's still some really silly moments in it. Somehow some character survives, somehow Palpatine returns. There's a couple of those moments in it, but otherwise it was a really, really good, really good book. So Let me see. I had a nightmare with Oompa Loompas when I was a kid, and it ruined all the Willy Wonka stuff for me. Don't watch Wonka because Hugh Grant is a Oompa Loompa. He's featured heavily in it. He is fantastic, but he's nightmare fuel. So there you go.
Just a picture of him looks horrible. The still is like, oh, he looks scary.
It works though. It really does work. I'm a sucker for Hugh Grant though. It's silly, but I really like Hugh Grant's acting. So, and then Mudhorn, any update on when Acolyte comes out or Skeleton Crew?
Just this year, they're coming out. Bad Batch 2, and then
Tales of the Jedi
2. Those are the 4 things we're getting this year that we know of. Everything else will go into production, and that's it.
I believe Skeleton Crew is the end. I think we're getting Acolyte. I think the first step would probably be Bad Batch, Tales of the Jedi, then Acolyte.
That would be like August time. Isn't that August, September when we get something like that? Oh, I don't know, man. I think they'd spread out the live actions.
They do, but yeah. Didn't Andor like almost overlap with Book of Boba Fett?
It was like a month.
There was like a month before Book of Boba Fett happened.
You're right. It was pretty close.
Yeah,
but there was a lot of stuff going on that year.
There was, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw and don't quote me, I don't know for sure, but I'm thinking probably Bad Batch around May 4th. I could see something like that happening. It's about time they did something for May 4th. But
right.
I think
you're right.
I think Skeleton Crew is probably the very end of the year.
Yeah, I'm looking right now to see if there's anything, and I don't see anything.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the last couple, like they did with Boba Fett, how Book of Boba Fett was the last week of December, the year it came out. That's probably what we're going to see with Acolyte, if I had to guess. Yeah. That way they could still, live up to their promise of it being this year, but carry it over to next year.
Do you think, hopefully they have to do a crawl for Acolyte, I would think, like they did with AHSOKA, and something to bring people up to speed, because you throw something like the Acolyte in, and you're going to go dark and all this. People are going to be like, why the hell does the Mandalorian fit in this? Where does AHSOKA fit in this? Where's Thrawn? It's one of those things where when you go back to Andor, and it's almost, it's still kind of tough to explain, but you're able to see it because the stormtroopers. Right. The stormtroopers help tell the time. When you go back further, they're not going to be stormtroopers. We won't even have clone troopers. We're going to have something else completely, entirely. So it's like
it's going to look like nothing it's going to look like nothing we've ever seen before as far as Star Wars goes, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a little rough.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we had it. I think we should have a crawl, or if not a typical Star Wars crawl, something along the lines of what we got with AHSOKA.
Yeah, just to bring everybody up to speed and let us know where we're at. Not a longer time ago in a galaxy far, far away. That'll be set. I'm sure they will use a long time ago for the old one, right? For the
Old Republic, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'd be down with them just saying, it is a time of peace in the galaxy. I don't know,
centuries before blah blah. I kind of need to know specifically.
Like 100 years before Anakin. So.
Maybe a century before the fall of Anakin Skywalker. Something like that would be okay, right? Yeah. That would put everybody in time. Everybody would know when that happened. Yeah, that would work. Instead of Battle of Yavin, because some people wouldn't even know that, right? Like a regular moviegoer is like Battle of Yavin. They'd have to think about it.
I saw some people. Where was it that I saw it? It was they were reordering the timeline of the fall of the New Republic. I'm like, stop it. Just stop it. It's not, it doesn't matter. Battle of Yavin. It's always been the Battle of Yavin.
Just right there. And that, yes, please. Yeah, I did see that too. Don't mess with the time, because we're already screwed up. Let's not have 3 different time. Then you're going to be arguing over which is the canon time use, This part of the galaxy uses by Jakku. This part of the galaxy uses Yavin.
Right. Rhino Hobby's asking if we have seen The Creator on Hulu. I didn't even know that it was out on Hulu yet.
Oh, I didn't either, but I do want to see it. Right. That's Denzel's kid, isn't it? I forget. I always forget his name. Idea. Damn. But I like him. He was in he was with Adam Driver in Black Klansman, and I love that one. And he was in Ballers. So
okay, cool.
He's good.
I've wanted to see that since I saw the first trailer, so I will be watching that. So
hey, I did see Rebel Moon. Did you talk about that last week?
Not really.
Did you watch it?
I haven't. I have zero interest in seeing Rebel Moon. I'm sure I will eventually see it, but please go right ahead and.
Oh, I could see. I could definitely the influence where he was trying to make a Star Wars movie, but it was like so Star Wars. It was a ripoff. You know.
Oh yeah.
I liked the characters are fine enough. Little twists in here and there were cool. I'll watch the next one because now I've watched it. Didn't hate it. It was good enough. It wasn't Star Wars. I'm glad it wasn't a Star Wars. He did make the lightsabers look cool.
Did he?
Oh yeah, dude. That was top notch. So I mean, I could have handled some of that. And I'm sure he would have had that all worked out. But yeah, this was basic stuff. It didn't need to be a Star Wars movie.
Okay. We've got Papa Schmitty joining in late. I hope you got your package, Papa Schmitty. Let me know if you had any problems with that. Not that I could do anything about it, but let me know. So Rhino Hobbies didn't like Rebel Moon.
I can see where people wouldn't like it either, to be honest. It took me because everything I looked at, almost every scene, I'm like, well, that reminds me of whether it's Star Wars or something else. Yeah. And I'm all, man, he's really ripping everybody off. But that last bit right there is funny from Brandon. Yeah. Okay, dude. At this point, I'm tired of hearing from every director that, there's an R-rated cut or a director's cut. Zack Snyder got paid X amount of dollars to do Rebel Moon 2 movies for Netflix. It's supposed to be his own vision. I don't want to hear his bullshit about, I have a different cut and it's way better. They changed my whole movie. I'm so tired.
He wrote it. He produced it. He directed it. He edited it.
It's your film, dude.
What the hell?
Get out
that we did cover a couple weeks ago. I'm still frustrated with that. Zack Snyder, that man just.
I really hate that whole bullshit, man. Stop. I don't believe you anymore.
Okay, I know.
But
yes,
the Snyder Cut Justice League was pretty fantastic. So I mean, I'll give him that. But this was
better than the other one.
Yeah, but this one's on him. This one's on him. I can't even feel bad about it. Goodness. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway. I think we're pretty good here. We went over an hour on Madness. We can go beyond the pit quite a while. Did you watch the Cat Williams 3-hour interview?
I didn't, but I saw Joey was going off about it. I don't even know.
It was me. I love it. I love that. So I watched the whole damn 3 hours. Yeah, I love when people spill the tea on everybody else, but that's for another day. So we're gonna find somebody in the Star Wars community to pull a Cat Williams and sit up here and drink cognac with us and just start spilling about how awful everybody is on the planet. So that gets views, man. That gets views. So if anybody knows anybody, bring them on. All right.
We're not nearly negative enough to get all those kind of views.
I know. That's what I always think, man. I'm like, hey, let's go after thetheory. Let's just take theory out. We're gonna drop viewers. I guess not our style, man.
Go after Mike Zero, full on. Just let's go after him.
Doesn't matter, man. It's punching down at this point to him.
I know, right?
You don't want to do that. So whatever. But here we go, y'all. We appreciate you coming in. I'm gonna have Scott take us out in a second, but thanks for sticking with us. It was just the two of us today, and we hope you enjoyed it.
Two of us.
Right, and we'll see if we can make that a recurring thing. We'll just kick Marco off. He's going to be a punk and not show up. I can't say that. I've missed so many in the last month, dude. I feel horrible. I don't really feel horrible. I was doing other cool things, but I do feel bad for you guys because without me, you're Chrisless, and that's sad.
Oh, how sad that is when we're Chrisless. I mean, it is absolutely awful whenever Chris doesn't show up. So anyway, just.
See, sorry about that. See, you don't want to be Chrisless around Christmas. That was messed up.
Oh God.
Hey, anyway. Let me show off my tattoo first. Hold on, guys. We're working this. We're working the sleeve here.
Wait a second. Here, let's move you over here to prime location, and we're gonna blow you
latest
up.
Piece. We got the Star Destroyer coming over the Chimera logo. So look out. So that's Brent Olson over at Art Junkies in Victorville. So if you're in town looking for a Star Wars tat. Don't get any of mine because they're mine, but he's the man to get them. Crazy, and
it looks amazing.
It's wild. It's like he puts on a sticker. You know, if you had like a cool 3D sticker and put it, I'm like, damn, that looks just like a Star Destroyer.
And he's handled the whole piece, right? The Darth Vader at the top, all the way down.
Yeah.
Did he do your Chimera too, or
no? I got that one done. Just when I do a stamp like that, I don't really have to go to a artiste. You know, gotcha. But I wanted to make sure I got quality on this one. Actually, this guy that did my tattoo here, he did my Green Lantern Batman. I saw you shared the figure the other day. right?
Yeah.
The from that
Yeah,
one page in a comic somebody said, and that's when I
Yeah.
always tell everybody about this tattoo. I'm all, there's only one page in a comic where Hal gives Bruce his ring and lets him see his parents and blah blah blah, and that's where I took that from. But I changed the bat to the Arkham bat, not the bat that's
Nice.
on the thing, because I like the Arkham
Right.
bat. But
Yeah.
that was it. But anyway, he did that while he was an apprentice. Luke, my oldest son, goes in to start his sleeve up, and he shops around town for tattoo artists. He finds this guy he likes. I go in later to pay because it's a present, right? So I go in, I'm all, oh, dude, you did my Green Lantern Batman. He's like, oh, that was like 12 years ago or 11 years ago. Luke was 10. He let him sit in there while I got it. Luke didn't realize it was the same dude because it had been 11 years. And so now he's getting the sleeve. I talked to him. I said, hey, man, you want to touch up Vader? Before I know it, I got a sleeve going. And all he was going to do was touch up my Vader that was this big.
Right. And now Vader is your entire shoulder. So
Vader is my entire shoulder now. And a Death Star.
That is
and a TIE fighter. His TIE fighter. Star Destroyer with like 8 or 9 freaking ties underneath. You can't see in there, but they're awesome. So next we're getting an AT-AT down a sleeve. We're getting a probe droid and a Imperial shuttle. And then we're wrapped up.
Damn. That's impressive, man. Looks amazing.
It hurts, but yeah. That's when it becomes your personality. You start getting tattooed over and over and over, right?
That's right. That's right.
I got the Jawas. I'll bring them, Papa Schmitty. Popping the Jawas.
Pop that Jawas in your chest. It's not his chest, Papa Schmitty. It's not his chest.
More like Jabba's.
Anyway. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. Hey, hit that like button on here. Tell a friend. Next week is Bring a Friend to the Sarlacc Digest week. So make sure you bring a friend to the Sarlacc Digest and just spread the Digest love, right? Check us out on all of our social medias. You've got Darth Moocher and Tashi Station Emporium for all of your action figure stand needs. Here, let's show you some of the stuff he's got going on up here. Look at that. All that cool stands and the backdrops and whatnot. That is Darth Moocher.
I love that Jones is just in there like, what the hell am I doing? Where am I? Who's
right?
this?
Right?
Tarkin looks like a Nazi. It works.
It does. It does. But anyway, check out Tashi Station Emporium. Use Sarlacc Digest podcast in the checkout. And you get 10% off your order. He is our sponsor for the show, as well as our usual showrunner. What else have we got? We've got the art of Scott Solo. That's me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Just go check out some of the art. Darth Dad 77 on Instagram. Sarlacc Digest on Instagram. Ernie the Fallen Fett and the Fallen Fett Chronicles. You can follow him on Instagram. You can follow him. I think he finally hit his 500 subscribers on YouTube. So that was really cool. Congratulations, man. The next step is 1,000. I challenge you to get 1,000 viewers, 1,000 followers, and show up here next week, please. What else have we got? We got bootleg_760 on Instagram and TikTok. He's the Jedi killer on TikTok. Go give it a follow. Also, we're on TikTok as well, the Sarlacc Digest, where I do my 1-minute toy reviews. They're there. They're also here on YouTube. So check them out. I've got some cool ones. Dudes and ladies, I just opened the brand new Black Series Mandalorian figure from the Book of Boba Fett this week. That figure is absolutely the best Mandalorian figure we have ever gotten. It's better than the SH Figure Arts Mando, which is insane. So go ahead and check that out. I can't rave about it enough. But yeah, that's it. I think we're done, man. Did I hit everything?
You sure did. So all that's left is
keep it nerdy, everybody.
Later.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm in charge. It's my turn to end
you
the stream.
Turn it off. Yes.
Okay.
I have no power.
Bye, everybody.